Flosstube. It's Victoria, the Happy Stitching Nurse. It is Sunday, May 23rd, 2021. We're almost done with May at this point. Wow. So, first off, I would like to thank everybody who has given me a thumbs up, everybody who subscribed, all of the beautiful comments. I really appreciate all of it. And I want to do a shout out to my sister. She is the Can-Am Stitcher. She did a second video, so I'm proud of her because it's really out of her element to do these videos and record herself. So shout out to her, and if you can get a chance, jump over to her YouTube and check her out. I'll link her down below. So anyway, I have a little notebook that I'm sitting and reading, so I just wanted to make sure that I touched up on everything. So I wanted to talk about my May Mania and the progress that I've made. I have a turkey that I was working on. It was for Give Thanks, and I have completed it. It's not an FFO, but it is an FO. I think that's what it is, FFO. Yeah, whatever, a fully finished object, yeah. So here is my turkey. He is completed. The tail is not the same color that they call for in the pattern, but to me, he was a pumpkin. He had vines coming off of him, so tail needed to be green. So I altered the tail to be green the way I wanted him to be. And the pattern that I used was Give Thanks. It is, the designer is, I apologize if I obliterate this, it is Tin Marler Win. So that is the pattern that I used for this cross stitch. The next one that I did was for actually week 3, and it ended up being a really fast project. It was my Dimensions poop emoji that I'll be giving to my son, just because we have this ongoing thing about poop emoji things going over to my son. He's got a seat that he sits in. He's got a little keychain. He's had another one of these, but a brown poop emoji. We have given him several other little poop emojis, but this one here whipped up really fast. It was a Dimensions kit, and I decided that because that was my number 3 Mania project, I would make number 3.5, which is the Dimensions Gold Aurora Cabin. I will post up here a picture of what it should look like. And I have been working pretty diligently on it all week long. So I will also post a few of the progress pictures just up here. I have learned how to do some editing, so you will see pictures up there now at this point. But anyway, here is what I currently have. It's a rather large project, so it's going to take me a long time to work on. It's 2 large fold out pages, so it's probably going to take months and months, maybe even a year. We'll see. But that is the progress that I have made on that so far. So that was for week 3. Now I've started my gnome. That is a Mill Hill gnome. He's a sledding gnome is what he was called. It has beads in it, so it's something that's going to take me out of my comfort zone a little bit. But I did begin it yesterday, so it was my number 4 May Mania, number 4. I don't have a whole lot. just that little bit. But I did get started for Maynia. I am keeping on track. So I have that done. The next thing that I wanted to do is a shout out to my sister-in-law, Lori, as well as, well, first off, my sister-in-law, Lori, she ended up giving me this cross-stitch pattern that I made yesterday. I went over there and did FaceTime with my sister, cross-stitch with my sister-in-law, and she gave me this cute pattern, Wool Stitch for Wine. And so I wanted to give a shout out to her and thank you for her kindness for giving me this pattern. It was a whole kit. So once again, I have several of them that I'm going to have to finish up. I get to the point where I'm done with the stitching and then I'm like, yay, something new and shiny, squirrel, go for it. Yeah. And I hang them up and they'll sit up forever, but maybe since I'm making a floss tube now, it'll hold me a little bit more accountable and I'll start actually putting some backings on some of these things. And then you'll see a fully finished object from me. Something that you'll see from my sister because she's very methodical about everything, whereas me, I'm just more of like, hey, shiny object, let's go for it. Yay, something new, yay, go for it. So speaking of shiny new projects, I will put up a graphic here or a picture here of another project that I ended up starting during the week just because it was something that arrived. It was new. It's these little penguins. It's a Rayolas pattern. I had the picture of it somewhere here, so I know that the name of the actual, it is, I believe it was, I thought it was something like Buddies or Warm Buddies, but it just says on here cross stitch kit. That's about it. But I've seen a lot of people talk about these Rayolas, and I have some of it completed, not a whole lot, a little bit. So here's the whole fabric right here. So this is one of the little penguins here. And I have to say, I am loving this floss that they have on here. It's a wool acrylic floss. I have it upside down because the numbers are all upside down. It's a wool acrylic. I haven't had any tangles with it. It's very soft. I was quite surprised. It is all single strand, so you do have to cut a longer piece if you're wanting to double up, or you can just cut it shorter if you're using two separate threads to combine a color that is needed for the pattern. So I just wanted to share this because this was one of my squirrel projects. I saw another YouTube, I believe she's called the Penguin Stitcher. I will post that down below. She was showing off a bunch of cute little penguin patterns, and I went down the rabbit hole of going over to Rayolas. Then I went to 123 Stitch, and I found that pattern and I fell in love. That's just how I am. More of a, hey, that's new, shiny, let's go for it. And let's see, I'm probably going to have to do a contest now, how many times I can say new, shiny squirrel. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just reading my notes here. Next project I wanted to show you. I will post a picture up here of my Heaven and Earth toy box and where I was before I show you this picture, because I have made a bit of progress on this. And here is my latest. So hopefully I'm getting my graphic up here and you can see a side by side. And I did say I wasn't going to do parking, and I ended up doing some parking. I think it was just a couple of like ninja stitches here that drove me crazy. And I said, yeah, no, you get to stay and hang out with me until I use you once again. So anyway, that is the progress on my heaven and earth. The next thing that I wanted to share is I did get myself a new stand. This stand, it's a Frank Edmonds Company Universal Craft Stand. So here's the box, as you can see, and I'm sure you can hear my cats chasing each other. And I managed to get this put together on my own. The diagrams, it's strictly just diagram. It's just picture. It gives you numbers for some of the screws, and that's about it. So here it is, holding one of my, I just wanted to show that it's gripping one of my hoops here. So this is actually the fabric that I'll be using for my Quaker Christmas stitch along that I decided to join in on with the vintage stitcher. The Quaker Christmas stitch along is by Bygone Stitches. I did end up getting it off of Etsy. I did get it from a person that was given permission to sell the pattern as a PDF form. So I have downloaded it and printed my pattern, and I am ready to go for June when the stitch along begins. So I will have another WIP to go with my laundry list of WIPs. As I was digging through a bunch of my projects, I decided that I need to go on a pattern purchasing diet. So I want to finish a few things first before I end up purchasing something else that has grabbed my attention, because there are a whole slew of beautiful projects out there, and I wish I had time to do them all, but I really don't. And I wanted to do another shout out to another Flosstube channel. I was watching a Maynia Flosstube. It was the Farmhouse Stitcher, and she has been working, actually she's finished. It is a ginger house train, and it was just adorable. She sits and she does clips throughout the week as she has been making progress, and I will link her down below if anybody wants to go and see her Maynia and her channel. So anyway, I want to say thank you once again to everybody who has watched my channel and given a thumbs up, and everybody who has subscribed. I really appreciate it. And everybody, stay healthy, stay safe. Until next time, thank you. Bye.